makes it so hard for leaders to relinquish some of the control, to keep themselves from feeling overwhelmed, burnt out all the time, right? You know, a lot of times leaders tend to internalize that responsibility, right? And what I mean by that, a lot of times, because we carry such a deep responsibility for making sure it takes place, making sure it happens, making sure the people are okay, making sure that everything is, gravy, right? Making sure that the outcomes are successful, right? We tend to put everything on our shoulders. And when we do that, it makes us feel like, we're in control, right? We're able to set the outcome, right? So then when we do that, though, we avoid delegating, because now that trust factor comes in. You don't delegate because you're wondering, okay, nobody's going to do it like me. And so that's when we start internalizing that responsibility, and we carry all the weight. Another thing that I see often leaders with us, right? We got this pressure on us to be strong. Because when you think about leaders, let's just be honest, when you think about a leader, you think about someone that's strong, someone that's powerful, someone that just has all the strength, right? And so because, there's such a pressure for us to be strong, in our mind, we internalize looking weak, looking unqualified, and looking like we're not capable of doing or handling the role of authority or leadership. And what tends to happen, because we internalize it so much, right? We cause ourselves to become silent, and then we'll allow all of that weight to build up, until it gets to a place where we're going to explode, right? And the third thing I think that we leaders struggle with, and we're just being honest today, we have a fear, and the reason I'm talking is because I'm a leader, right? Sometimes we have a fear of letting go, right? And what I mean by that, sometimes we believe, okay, if my hands are not in it, or if I don't do it, it's not going to get done right. And nobody can do it like I can, right? And what that tends to do for us as leaders, that limits our growth. That creates unbalance, that leads to, bottlenecks, right? That leads to exhaustion. We're worn out because we feel like we don't have any help, but not thinking that we never asked for help, right? And then the fourth thing I think is it's just a lack of safe spaces. As leaders, we don't feel like we have a safe space. Who can we actually go to and really tell them how we feel, right? Because we've internalized what the feedback is going to be, what the outcome is going to be, right? We don't feel like we have the space to be vulnerable without being judged, right? Because, the stigma is that leaders are strong, leaders are bold, but leaders are also human, right? And so because we don't feel like we got a safe space, we tend to isolate. We step back, and we will rather burn out than to say we need help, right? So those are four things that I see leaders often struggle with.